Hello, traders from the inner circle, and welcome to a new video over here for the GU. So, I'm going to give you my trade recap, why I took this entry, and why probably you had a problem with it because I've seen it in the chat, so you didn't really understood why this trade was like that and how the entry occurred. So I'm going to break it down very quickly within this video, and it is really clear. You will see it's not really difficult. But for that, we need to understand what GU did yesterday as well. Okay, now yesterday my bias was that price will push up higher, right? So we mapped out that 1 minute zone, which we discussed in the Zoom call. As you can see, price perfectly tapped into it. So hopefully you can remember from a high time frame perspective, the GU tapped in over here in a big liquidity pool. And by understanding what the market did here, how it created liquidity with equal lows over here. So you can see here 10 lows or something like that. Then price moved up higher, grab liquidity, then from the downside use this liquidity to push up higher above this high, grab this liquidity, and then price finally went lower and it tapped into this important liquidity spot. So all over below here we have a ton of liquidity. So my bias was definitely that the price will give us some serious movements to the upside. And yes, this is what the market did at the end. So we pushed up higher. I managed to take an entry over there. This one I completely missed, as you can see, because price went to the upside in step by step. I missed that opportunity because it was on Friday night. I was not on the charts anymore. Um, I already had my profits for the week. So this is also kind of a mindset thing, which I wanted to give you within this video. Try to close your trades, okay? I know we could make 100 R on every single trade if we want to do it, but it's just very difficult, to be honest, because you need to you need to take therefore a lot of losses. So if you're a super good trader, you're super experienced, and this is your path that you want to go, then do it. Then you can do that. Then you can look for these extremely high risk reward trades. What me personally I like more is to scale in positions. I like to take multiple trades, and I like to just take very quickly the best setup possible in order for me to get something like 10 to 20 R on my first trade, and then I'm very good for the whole week, because then I will only take 5 losses, and if these 5 losses will give me even more risk reward, then I will make a new management, of course, then I can take even more losses. But that's kind of my rules. I After I took one phenomenal trade between 10 to 20 R, then I'm going to take 5 other trades, and if this 5 other trades will be a loser, then I will end the week and I'm super good. So you just need to have it for your mindset. So it's super important because trading is super psychology, and this is why in this case I didn't took this entry. Of course it was a textbook example of how to take a trade like that, and price really pumped up like crazy afterwards, so there was a lot of reward possible. Now let's move on. I explained to you what I expect is the price will tap into this zone or into this zone. So what I did is I placed buy limits right over there because you had so much liquidity. And what the price did is, yes, it really tapped into the zone, pushed all the way to the upside. But wait, price afterwards went lower and it targeted everything. So every single liquidity spot that was created over there. And that's the kind of thing right now. It is a demand chain, as you can see. So price is just connecting. Let's go to the 5 minute right now to see the candles a little bit better, so you can see how they've been connecting with each other, right? So it's just simply a demand chain, and at some point a demand chain will not hold anymore and price will just drop through it, because there you have a ton of liquidity, and that's what the price did over there. And from where this whole movement started, well, actually from the supply zone over there. So price tapped into the supply zone exactly at this high, and that would have been a very great short possibility. Now, me personally, I was holding that position, so I was not closing it over there. I just took some partials, but that's it. At the end, I ended up with here in this trade taking me out at break even plus my partials that I took at the highs. Now that's the whole thing. That's the whole story. Then the whole retail traders thought about after price went that crazy to the downside. Okay, price will drop down lower. But in fact, the price didn't drop that much to the downside. In fact, whenever the retail traders think something, it will always occur the other side. So what do I mean by that? Well, actually, if you're just following right now this whole movement to the downside, you will see here that the price has given us already the first confirmation, and this one could have been our first entry possibility. So price here broke structures. I told you to multiple times. When you see something like that, when it's not clear, then it should be clear for you in this case that this is a break of structure, because it could have been right now a liquidity grab because price went up a little bit higher, so it wicked above this high. So it could have been just tapping into the supply zone, and price could drop down to the downside. Yes, it's a possibility, but in this case, the context is the complete different one. Why? Well, actually, you can see from a market structure perspective that this is our low, this is our high. As long as we're between this range, price can do whatever he wants. So it means we need to break this one here as well, for a bearish continuation. And as long as we are here, price could still go up higher, So we've been still in a bullish range. So looking here for shorts is kind of stupid. So I would always prefer in a situation like this to take a long instead of taking a short. Now, what you could have done is to just wait. And this is what I did because I was not at the charts at 8 o'clock. So that's the time where I'm relaxing. That's the time when I'm enjoying my profits that I made that day, or I'm enjoying my losses that I made that day. So, yes, it would have been a possibility. We had here liquidity, uh, break of structure here as well, plus break of structure there. And this is the significant break of structure that we wanted to see, not this one over there. And yeah, price created very nice demand zone, price tapped into it, and all in all, this kind of thing here looks super like Wyckoff accumulation. So it looks like price is about to generate liquidity in order to bring the price afterwards higher. And this is what it did. Now, when I woke up, I've seen the price just generating additional liquidity. Plus, it broke structure during night as well. So we have over here a new range, guys. The price has broken it and it went up higher and higher and higher. And it tapped into another supply zone, which was over there. And this was a supply zone that brought the price a little bit to the downside. Now, when you see something like that, you know, that's kind of the difficult part in over here. I'm switching to the minute 15 to understand more than likely where structure is. And it was clear that we have here structure. So that was my range. Why specifically this was my range? Well, because from here, price broke structure to the upside. So it's this is the relevant demand zone that was responsible for the break of structure over there. So it is this range that I'm looking for. Price is moving up higher, but it's tapping into it very soon. That means for me that a level like this is clean liquidity. So I think this is clear to everybody that this is liquidity. Now, when I see liquidity, of course, here is liquidity, but where do we have the most liquidity? Of course, here, and also here you have liquidity. Now, the difference between the liquidity here and the liquidity here and the liquidity here is that this liquidity over there was responsible for this break of structure. Now, this break of structure also had over here equal highs. So it had already liquidity over there. So that could have been for you, for this setup, an additional confirmation to take it. So if you've seen that setup at night, then you should have been taking it. I know the times are not good. I also don't like these times, but it's possible to trade them as well. Now, everybody needs to define this by themselves. But here, super important to understand. From here, the price really broke structure, and here's the liquidity. Now, all in all, when we look at the charts at around 7 o'clock, price was already there. So it would be here at this point anyway stupid to look here to get involved into that buy position. So this is anyway a bad a bad setup. So I would never take this demand zone over there because this demand zone is just there while we have the whole liquidity. So when I checked up the charts at the morning, what I've seen is that we had something there. Okay, so that's what's that? What we have over there. That's the only valuable zone that I can find in this whole area over here. Of course, we could have been looking at this zone as well, but this zone was not that important anymore because price already went that much to the upside. And when a price is that much to the upside, these zones are not always super relevant. So we need to understand more about the context always when we're looking at these trades. But if you're checking out this, what would you define your entry zone? It's only here possible. And I know it looks a bit weird. So if you've seen this, it's just a red candle with no wicks. And this is why I included this one as well. Why? Because you can take this kind of thing as an imbalance, so there you got the imbalance. So you could have been taking this whole like this, because this is the imbalance that you have. And then I just included this one as well. Now, why didn't I took this one? Why didn't I took this one? Well, this one is kind of, for me, this is the whole zone in this case. So it's that move to the downside. And as you can see, this zone was already mitigated by this red candle over there. So this zone is for me not valid anymore. And I would not use it like this because in this case, this is also part of the movement. So one option, okay, you could have been using this, but you need to keep in mind that this zone is probably already mitigated because you need to take the whole move because it's always the whole move to the downside. So we don't know where they have at their positions. We just know that they started here to press sell in order to fake out people, in order to bring the liquidity in that they can buy like that. So we don't know at this point if they have some positions left over there. And the chance is super low, because price already tapped into in here. So if price wouldn't tap in over there, so if the price here would have been green, then I would have been using this zone. Then you don't unnecessarily need to take this whole area, then this zone would have been possible as well. The next zone would have been this. Now this one is already mitigated, plus this one already took liquidity from there, as you can see. So this zone is also invalid to me. And that's it. So this is why my decision was very clear. I'm going to take this one. And we have here so much liquidity, and price just tapped into it, used that liquidity. And where do we have our targets? Of course, above these equal highs. So what I did is I took this line like that, but this is how you should map it out on your charts. Okay, you know that this is liquidity. Where do you put your take profit? Just a little bit above, and that's it. Look at this, price wicked a little bit more to the upside. So to make it like very precisely, it's not even necessary, but for me it was just around 20R. That's why I put my target exactly there, and that's it. That was my whole trade on the GU. Super simple. We had over here, look at this, equal highs over there. So it was an additional confluence that we will get soon to the upside. And now let me show you something, because you could have been taking even more trades over there. So a possibility would have been here as well. Now, as you can see, price didn't really tap into it. Not sure how many pip spreads you're including in your setups. That's also something which could lead that you will not take every single trade. So as I'm always telling you, I'm always using two pip stop loss more, always. When it comes to entry, I like to use always the round numbers. In this case, I would have been using the 11, and price wouldn't target my buy limit entry as well. But look at this, it's clear that price will from here go up higher because it broke structure. It tapped into this liquidity spot, and this liquidity spot brought a price like that, and it broke structure here, and this one is for me also invalid break of structure in this case. And then price from there went up higher. Let's see if we can map something out on the 1 minute. I'm not sure. Yes, look at this. On the 1 minute, there was the opportunity for us to take, and that would have been the cleanest entry in this case. Would have been the safest one as well, because this here has an additional confirmation. Now look at this. From here, we also broke everything, right? So we broke the first structure over there. We broke this one. Okay, price pushed up crazy. And what we had liquidity is here and here. And what the price did is always check out what the price is doing after tapping into this level. So you see, tapping into this level, pushing up higher. Tapping into this level, again pushing up higher in the supply zone. So that would have been also a potential setup, guys, you know? So you can trade here everything. Almost everything is tradable over there. And then price is just tapping into the zone. Boom. Now, to be honest, I completely missed this. I just had my buy limit and I just looked after it a little bit later and I just thought about, okay, price just smashed it, went up crazy. But yes, this one here would have been an even better entry, so the risk reward would have been even better. Perfect. Completely missed this. But yeah, nice that I see it right now. So always education, education, guys, super important. So hopefully you understand this one as well. Of course, this song could have been working out as well, but the chance is always that price will tap in that low. It's kind of bad if you have already so much levels here. You know, that's the only thing which you need to take into consideration. And what you can do is as well is to take every single level. You could have been taking this one as well, but you need to be aware of this. You know, the price will just break through it. Okay, then the last trade. I also took a short trade today. It's very simple. It was just a lower time frame precision in this case. Why? Well, we had liquidity. You know, we had this liquidity here, which is kind of great. Uh, I'm not sure right now if price broke structure right now. If it's a valid break of structure on the higher time frames, yes, it is. Not really. Sorry, not really. Not really. So I'm not sure if this is a break of structure. I'm not sure right now if price will even go up higher on GU. So whenever I don't know, I just don't touch it. So I will just touch it tomorrow. I will look how it will be developed right now during night. But my idea was today, then afterwards, to also get involved into a short. And I did not just made a risk entry or something like that. It could have been possible somewhere above here, but where should I put my stop loss? So I didn't have here anything that I could take to make a logical stop loss. So I was just waiting, but I was very sure already when price went up higher, when we targeted liquidity, that it will give us at least some reaction. And what it gave us was a break of structure. It created liquidity over there, and this is our supply zone. Price tapped in perfectly into it, and boom, then I just closed it way too early, way too early. So I should have been holding it at least till this demand over there. So it would have been like this. So here, that would have been crazy, because it would have been another 11 hours like this. That's the demand zone where price tapped into it. So I should have been holding it longer, but I didn't, because price was already good. So sorry, I mean, I already banked profit previously with my long. Then I took that short immediately, and everything from the first try plus GJ. So when I closed GJ, I closed GU as well. You know, that was just my whole process. Why I closed the GU too early. Actually, yes, the close was way too early. I just closed it because it was way too much profit for that day, and I thought about, I'm good with it. So I don't want right now to just lose another potential 7R. Okay, that it will hit my break even, because I already banked enough. Then additional 7R, why not? You know, that's kind of the mindset that I'm always using, and through my experience, this is what helps me at least the most. You know, which helps me the most. Okay, guys, thank you for attention. Hopefully, this video could bring you further, and see you in the next videos.